Imagine this, a ship, lost at sea, drifting under a blistering sun. Every soul on board is already dead. Not just dead, but frozen. Frozen in perfect, petrified screams, their eyes wide open, staring at an unseen horror. Now, imagine the rescue crew that found them. They board this silent vessel and feel a chill deeper than any ocean trench. And then, they hear it, a final, static-filled whisper on the radio, "I die." And then, as if the sea itself wanted to bury the truth, the ship explodes, vanishing into the depths with all its answers. What happened on the SS Ourang Medan? Was it a rogue chemical weapon? A paranormal fury that scared men's hearts to a stop? Or did they stumble upon something not of this world, something that had to silence them forever? The records have been erased. The governments deny it existed, but the legend will not die. This is the story where every clue leads to a deeper, darker question. What truth was so terrible it had to be drowned, burned, and wiped from history? Do you dare to know? You need to ask yourself right now, do we really want to know what happened on the Ourang Medan? To understand this, we have to travel back to the sweltering, tense summer of 1947. The world was still picking up the pieces from a devastating war. The sea lanes were busy, but they were filled with ghosts, sunken holes and secrets buried in the deep. It was in this atmosphere, specifically the choppy, isolated waters of the Straits of Malacca, that our story truly begins. Two American ships, including the Silver Star, were plowing through the straits when the radio crackled to life. It was a distress call, but this was like no mayday any operator had ever heard. The voice on the other end was fractured, panicked, gasping. It was the captain, or someone, from a Dutch freighter, the SS Ourang Medan, and the message was bone-chillingly specific. He said, "All officers, including the captain, dead. Lying in chart room and on the bridge. Possibly whole crew dead." The static hissed. The voice fought for breath. Then, the four final, terrifying words that would become legend. "I die." And then, nothing. A dead, hollow, eternal radio silence. Can you imagine being that radio operator, hearing those final, gasped words from the void? What did he see in those final moments that his last act was to simply state, "I die"? The Silver Star springs into action. Using the coordinates, they change course and soon, they find her. The SS Ourang Medan. She was a ghost ship under the brutal Malaccan sun, drifting, silent. A tomb, cutting silently through the waves. No response to hails. Nothing but the heat haze shimmering off her deck. A boarding party of tough, seasoned sailors was assembled. They had seen the horrors of war, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could prepare them for the silence they found when they stepped onto that deck. First, the silence. A heavy, oppressive silence, broken only by the creak of the hull. Then, the bodies. They were everywhere. Officers at their posts. The radio operator still slumped over his set. The crew sprawled where they fell. But the posture is the key to the horror. Every single one of them was frozen in a rictus of absolute, mind-shattering terror. Their faces were contorted into silent screams. Their eyes wide open, staring, as if witnessing the very gates of hell. Their arms were outstretched, some pointing at nothing, or at something only they could see. Here's where the mystery deepens. No visible wounds, no signs of a struggle, no fire, no flooding, just life, ripped out of them instantly by an invisible force. Even the ship's dog was found dead, its lips pulled back in a permanent, vicious snarl. In the cold, the boarding party reported an unnatural, creeping cold clinging to the ship, a chill that seeped into their bones, defying the tropical heat that was baking the metal deck. A cold spot in the middle of the ocean. The question they asked themselves was, what source of cold could do that? The mission for the Silver Star was simple: get a tow line on her, bring her to port, and find those answers. But the SS Ourang Medan wasn't done telling its story. As the boarding party was securing the line, thin, faint wisps of smoke began to curl up from the lower decks. It wasn't a fire they could see, but something deep within the hull. And the smell, the reports described a faint, acrid, chemical smell. Within minutes, the smoke thickened. The decision was instantaneous: get off the ship. Now, the Silver Star crew cut the tow line and backed away, watching in horrified fascination as this floating coffin was consumed by a sudden, incredibly violent inferno. The blaze was ferocious, intense, and oddly localized. And then, with a final, groaning shudder, the ship simply exploded. It was torn apart, not just sunk. In moments, the wreckage slipped beneath the waves, taking all its evidence, all its answers, and all its dead, down to a watery grave. Why did it burn? What was in its hold that could ignite so violently after the crew was already dead? Was it just volatile cargo? Or was it something else, something that needed to cover its tracks? This, my friends, is where the mystery deepens into true, unfathomable darkness. Because the official records vanish. The Lloyd's of London registry has no listing for a Dutch freighter named Ourang Medan. The Dutch government has no registration. The detailed reports from the Silver Star? Nowhere to be found in official naval archives. It's as if the ship never existed. So I have to ask you, if there's no paper trail, how does this story exist? How did it spread like wildfire through sailors' taverns and naval intelligence circles? What are they not telling us? So, let's dive into the 4 terrifying theories that attempt to explain the impossible. Theory 1. The chemical leak. The most rational explanation suggests the ship was carrying illegal, unstable chemical weapons, tabun, sarin, or perhaps sweating nitroglycerin. A leak creates odorless, deadly fumes, locking the crew in agony, and then a spark ignites the volatile cargo. It fits, mostly, but does it explain the frozen terror, the pointing poses, the unnatural cold? Or, theory 2, the carbon monoxide trap. A faulty boiler fills the ship with invisible gas, causing hallucinations and death. Plausible. But carbon monoxide usually leads to a sleepy, drowsy death, not the active, defensive, terror-stricken postures described. What about the rapid onset, dying in mid-action? Then, we move into the truly haunting. Theory 3, the supernatural. This is the one that haunts the late-night watches. A cursed ship, a doorway to another dimension, an entity from the deep, or perhaps something that hitched a ride. The crew didn't die of poison, they died of pure fear. Something literally scared them to death, their hearts freezing in their chests. The cold spot, the staring eyes, the pointing fingers, they all point to a confrontation with the unexplainable. But let me hit you with the most chilling theory of all, the one that's gained terrifying traction, the UFO. Think about it. The late 1940s, the dawn of the modern UFO phenomenon. What if the Ourang Medan stumbled upon something not of this world? An alien craft, perhaps conducting an experiment, emitted a frequency or radiation so intense it cooked the crew's nervous systems from the inside out? A paralyzing, lethal force field. The intense cold reported around some UFO sightings. The faces pointed upwards. The immediate need to erase the evidence, a directed energy beam igniting the hull. The ship was a witness, and witnesses must be silenced. The complete lack of records? That's the cover-up. Governments desperate to keep the world from knowing we weren't alone. So, what's the truth? Did a mundane chemical accident create a perfect storm of horror, its story exaggerated into a legend? Or did the SS Ourang Medan sail into a patch of sea that was something else entirely? A place where the veil is thin, where things that should not exist can reach through. What force can kill without a mark, leaving only pure fear as its signature? Why did the sea itself seem to conspire to swallow all evidence? And the most important question of all, if it happened once, what's to stop it from happening again? The next time you look out at a calm sea, remember the Ourang Medan. Remember that sometimes, the deepest horrors are waiting in the blinding, midday sun. Tell me in the comments below, which theory do you believe? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more truly terrifying mysteries wiped from the official record.